Back to another YouTube video. It's your boy Uriah G. Today we're gonna react to ranking every Michael Jackson album from worst to best. We're gonna react to ranking every Michael Jackson album from worst to best. I'm gonna make sure I put the link in the description of my description. Let's get right into the video. Alright, we have an advertisement. We're gonna react to ranking every Michael Jackson album from worst to best. If y'all don't know, Dangerous is my #1 favorite album. Y'all comment down what's y'all favorite album.
Is a legend among.
You guys comment down y'all favorite MJ album. That's what I was trying to say. Let's get into the video.
Michael Jackson is a legend among musicians. His popularity during his lifetime transcended what we even thought was possible for a pop star. His timeless discography is revered for its greatness and influence, but how well does it stack up against itself? Well, it's time to put that to the test, so join me as I rank every single Michael Jackson album from worst to best, while also giving you the best and worst songs from each album. Also, as a side note, I didn't include any of the Al Jackson, but with all, I already made a dedicated video to this album on its own, so I won't go too deep here, but this album is just
9 Michael. I don't know. Do I like any songs off that project? I need to check that project out. I think I'm thinking of the wrong one. I think it's called Escape or something. Cause I think that's one of his posthumous albums. Escape, yeah, I didn't listen to the Michael one.
so underwhelming. The team behind this album had decades upon decades of material to work with, and this is all they could muster up. I mean, the Jackson estate did get it right with the follow-up album Escape, but the legacy behind this album is just, it's non-existent. This album has mostly been forgotten about for pretty good reasons. There's some good material here and there, but there's really not anything that helps it stand out from the crowd. Top it off with allegations that 3 out of the 10 original tracks don't even feature Jackson's own voice on it, and you can tell why I'm not a huge fan of this album at all. The best song on
Okay. I did hear that with this project, there was some AI with the vocals, and that they weren't even Michael's vocals.
this album is Hold My Hand. Really, this is the only song I actually care about from this album. It's a pretty good song, which is why it made the spot. The worst songs on this album are Breaking News, Monster, and Keep Your Head Up. Although these songs are no longer on streaming services, I had to include them on this list.
Oh, they're not even longer on streaming services, he said.
Anyways, there is a high possibility that these 3 tracks do not have Michael's actual voice on them and are actually sung by someone else. Just using the listening test, I personally can hear a difference, and for that reason alone, these songs are at the bottom of the barrel for me. In fact,
Okay, we're gonna say this much more clearer. We're reacting to ranking every Michael Jackson album from worst to best. Now let's continue.
they're not even in the barrel. I just don't listen to them. While most of this album is just a remix of history, the original songs on this album aren't too bad at all. In fact, a lot of them are pretty good. And there are times where I do feel kind of bored listening to this album because some songs are just
This is kind of off topic. He has album covers in the background. You guys see it?
longer than they need to be, but this isn't a bad project by any means. The best song on this album is Blood on the Dance Floor. The title track just so happens to be my favorite one from the bunch, with a groovy beat and a great performance from Michael.
Isn't Money on this track? I mean, Money is on the... What is Blood on the Dance Floor? Is that an EP or an album? I think it's an album. But I think Money is on this album.
Really nothing holding this track back. The worst song on this album is Morphine. This is one of those songs that I feel like suffers from its length. It's 6.5 minutes long and it not being that engaging
6-minute track.
for me. I just don't find myself revisiting this track that often.
This is my favorite album, and I'm gonna give me a Dangerous hoodie before the Michael biopic come out.
This was Michael's first album since Off the Wall, in which Quincy Jones had absolutely no involvement in. And it shows, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. This was Michael's attempt at sort of breaking through the mold and riding the wave of 90s pop. And it was a success. Dangerous is one of the most slept on albums in Jackson's entire catalog. And just because I personally rank it at number 7 on this list does not mean I'm trying to spite it at all. This is the king of pop we're talking about. His discography is full of countless quality albums, and this is one of them. Dangerous feels a lot more dark and rock-based than his predecessors, and it also sees Jackson get more politically charged with his music, with songs like Black or White and Heal the World.
Yeah, it does get into that um, stuff that's going on in the world, and he did start not start, but that's when he started doing the New Jack Swing sound in this album.
The best song on this album is Remember the Time. This may be the most slept on hit.
I like In the Closet and just like some other tracks up there. Dangerous is good, but I like In the Closet. It's underrated.
In Michael's entire catalog. A top tier Michael Jackson song, Remember the Time, is a fantastic track with a unique hook and a catchy instrumental that just never gets old. The worst song on this album is Jam. Speaking of repetitive choruses,
Long song too. It's like I think 6 minutes or something like that.
this is one of them that simply gets old very quick. And although I don't think it's a bad song, it's simply the one I don't visit as often, and it's just my least favorite off this album.
Alright, this project, Escape. My favorite song off this project is probably Slave to the Rhythm. I think this is this the right one? Let me check. Yes, it is.
You may be surprised to see a posthumous album this high on the list, but honestly, this is just a great project. The Jackson estate completely made up for the disastrous release of Michael with a project that not only honored the late great, but gave us a blast from the past and the present. You see, this album is divided into two halves: the songs that are featured on the album with current modern production and all the works, and the songs with their original production, which is kind of cool. It's almost like a time capsule. You can go back
I did not know that. Well,
to the 80s and the 90s and see what Michael's original ideas for these songs were, and then you can come back to the present and see what the final product ended up being. The best song on this album is Love Never Felt So Good. This track feels like it's straight out of a movie scene. That's the best way I can describe it. It's like magic. Michael's iconic voice never goes to waste on a track, and that's apparent with Love Never Felt So Good. I love the production and the instrumentals on this track. They're outstanding, and the inclusion of the original 1980 version, which features completely different production, is cool as well. They're both fantastic songs. The worst song on this album is Do You Know Where Your Children Are? This is the one instance on this album
I've never heard that one yet.
where I feel like the new modern production actually holds the song back. I don't know who greenlit that annoying ass beeping sound, but it's just not it. The most underrated album in Michael's entire catalog. This was a pivotal point in Jackson's career, and he used this album history to make statements, firing back at the press, expressing his political beliefs, and talking about his abnormal childhood. This album is the vessel that MJ used to express decades of bottled up emotion, and we got some
Yes, he did get, like, as he was saying in the Dangerous album when he got, deep in his lyrics about stuff that was going on in the world. He did that in history too.
great songs because of it. History is a little bit weird because it's labeled as a compilation album, so if you look on Apple Music, for example,
Yeah, and it's like a lot of songs. It's like 4 halves. It's like 4 discs or something. And I remember the history compilation album, as he said. I think that's like on a cover of a DVD for a movie, like a Michael Jackson music video DVD or something, but I think History was on the cover. I don't know. It looked like something for.
It won't be under his albums. You have to go down a bit to compilation albums. It's also served as a greatest hits compilation. The first half of the album is just all his greatest hits from Off the Wall to about Dangerous. So it's a little bit weird, but still, this is a fantastic album. The best song on this album is Stranger in Moscow. This is such an infectious track with great production and outstanding vocals from Michael and such a unique subject for a song. There's really not much I can say to give it justice, so if you haven't listened, do it. The worst song
Definitely heard Stranger in Moscow. And yeah, Money. I like, well, I don't really like the song like that, but I know the song.
on this album is Money. While the actual subject matter of this song is pretty interesting, the
Yeah, it is an interesting theme. For if you look into the lyrics, he was talking about some stuff.
actual song itself is kind of boring and mediocre. There's really nothing bringing me back to this one besides the actual content of the song. The hook and the chorus and the vocals, they're fine, they're nothing outstanding. But unless I want to hear about what Michael thinks about the economic state of the world, I'm usually not tapping into this one. When I first listened to this album, I wasn't impressed. The soundscape Jackson went with
And if you guys know, You Rock My World, that's my favorite MJ song. So, yeah, I just had to point that.
felt dated, and it felt like there was a lot of bloat on this album. Then I re-listened, and my opinion completely changed. If you've already seen my breakdown of this album in a previous video I made, I won't go too in depth here, but Invincible is just so underrated and features some of the best Michael Jackson songs from the back half of his catalog. Sure, there's some bloat on this album, but when the songs are hitting, they're really hitting, and despite the 70-minute runtime, I really don't find myself bored or disinterested when I'm listening to this album. The best song on this album is Heaven Can Wait. This is one of those songs that only Michael Jackson can make. If another artist made a song like this, I don't think I'd like it. But the way Michael does it is phenomenal. It might sound like a product of its time, because it is, but nevertheless, it's still a standout track and an underrated gem in Mike's catalog. The worst song on this album is Threatened. This song is definitely a product of the early 2000s, and it just doesn't work for me. It's pretty boring and predictable, and it's just not for me. As the follow-up to the most successful album of all time, Bad had more expectations than you could possibly think of, and MJ blew them out of the park. Swapping his white blazer for a black leather jacket, Michael took on a whole new persona and
Yeah, Bad is one of the most liked, because I've heard people put Bad at number one, and then Off the Wall, number one too.
topped it off with an album titled Bad. All
And Thriller. Thriller is his most selling album.
things considered, Jackson followed up Thriller in probably the best way possible, as Bad is revered in the same timeless status as the two projects that came before it. The best song on this album is The Way You Make Me Feel. Shout out Quincy Jones for that smooth bass sound that plays throughout this entire track. It's fresh, unique, and sounds amazing. I love this song so much, and it's definitely one of my favorites from Michael. Do yourself a favor, and if you somehow haven't listened to this song and are watching this video, listen. The worst song on this album is Speed Demon. While not a bad song, it's just the one song on this album I don't revisit a whole lot. The hook is a little bit awkward and doesn't really work with the song, so it kind of sucks me out of the listening experience. It's just not for me.
Sure, I mean, hey, that's his opinion.
Regarded as one of, if not the best disco album of all time, Off the Wall is a late 70s classic that provides a great balance of tunes you can dance to and ballads passionately sung by Jackson. Off the Wall contains some of the earliest hits Jackson had as a solo artist, such as timeless tracks like Don't Stop Till You Get Enough and Rock With You, but I think this album's greatest strengths lie in the songs you won't find in the Greatest Hits compilation. It's an extremely consistent body of work from top to bottom that, despite being almost 50 years old, has stood the test of time. The best song on this album is Off the Wall. This song has everything. Shout out to Quincy Jones.
Yeah, I actually like the song Off the Wall over, what's the other song? Literally, the music video just showed up for this one. Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. That one. I like Off the Wall more than Don't Stop Till You Get Enough.
Bones for the beat behind this track.
But with the Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, like when he sings and then the beat just plays the whole time and towards the end. Yeah, I like that part. The transitioning.
I honestly think this is the best instrumental in any Michael Jackson song, and that's saying a lot. I just love the disco boogie feel to this song. It makes me want to just get up and dance. This is a fantastic track and a the standout track from Off the Wall. The worst song on this album is Burn This Disco Out. Not a bad song, just underwhelming when compared to what the rest of Off the Wall has to offer. I mean, this is the expected answer, but it's expected for a reason. As the best-selling album of all time, Thriller, the album on its own, could serve as a greatest hits compilation. It helped to set the trends,
Thriller Thriller is the most selling album of all time, and Invincible's the most expensive album of all time. He put the most money into an album for Invincible.
fashion, the music, get black artists on MTV again. Thriller did it all, and it's definitely the album from Michael's catalog that's aged the best. I mean, you still have so many people to this day bumping this absolute classic. There is no denying Thriller's greatness. The best song on this album is Baby Be Mine, the most underrated song in Michael Jackson's entire discography, and I will die on this hill. Such an underrated gem, and you want to talk about vocal performances? This might be Michael's best, and that's not just me saying it. I genuinely believe this is his best vocal performance of all time. Such a great song. The worst song on this album is Wanna Be Startin' Something. Now hold on, hold the pitchforks. This is not a bad song. I actually like this song. It just so happens to be the song I don't visit the most on this album. I don't like it the most. I like it the least. I just don't listen to it as much as I do the other songs. One of these 9 songs had to take a hit, and it just so happened to be this one. And I don't want to hear it in the comments about The Girl Is Mine. That is such a great song, and I will also die on that hill. Thank you.
Alright, that was ranking every Michael Jackson album from worst to best. Tell me what you guys want to see next in the comments down below. I got more videos coming, stay tuned. And yeah, Uriah out.